When we talk about psychosis associated with alcohol abuse, we should understand what is psychosis. Psychosis is a mental condition that causes people to perceive or interpret things differently from those around us. Psychosis can be caused by mental health condition or a medical condition or substances like alcohol or drugs. Someone who develops psychosis will have their own unique experiences and symptoms according to their particular circumstances. When we talk about what is alcohol-induced psychotic disorder, excessive use of alcohol can result in severe mental health problems, as we all know. Several acute psychotic reactions fit the diagnostic classification of alcohol-induced disorder. I hope every one of you have someone you have shown they have drink and shown some symptoms. Can you guess what could be the psychosis they have shown?
Laughing to oneself,
Yeah.
staring at the space, staring at the ceiling, just into your space.
So these symptoms remain for acute short period of time. Acute reaction which usually lasts for short time and generally consist of confusion, excitement and delirium. These disorders are often called alcohol-induced psychotic disorder merely because they are marked by temporary loss of contact with the reality. These reactions may develop in people who have been drinking excessively for a long period of time or who have reduced alcohol tolerance. For example, people who have brain lesion can be seen in excessive use of alcohol. There are two types of, there are two alcohol disorders. First is alcohol withdrawal delirium, formerly known as delirium tremens, and second is alcohol amnestic disorder. Coming to alcohol withdrawal delirium, this is a kind of reaction where a person is drinking for a very long period of time and enters a state of withdrawal. Slight noises or sudden moving objects may cause considerable excitement and agitation. Delirium typically lasts from 3 to 6 days and followed by a deep sleep. Can you briefly explain some symptoms also? Sure. Relating to that, we can see symptoms of alcohol amnestic disorder. Primary symptom is memory defect, particularly for the recent events like we have seen in Braden's case, that how we forget that he was in a park for a walk, not for parade. People with this disorder may not recognize picture, faces, rooms and other objects they have seen, although they may feel that these people or objects are familiar. Such people increasingly tend to fill their memory gap with confabulation that leads to unconnected and distorted associations. These individuals also may appear in delusion, delirious, distorted memory for time and place. But ordinarily, their confusion and disordered actions are closely related to attempts to fill their memory gaps. The memory disturbance itself seems related to inability to form new association in manner that renders them readily retrievable. Such reaction usually occurs in long-time alcohol abuse after many years of excessive drinking. These patients also been observed to show other cognitive impairments such as planning deficit, intellectual decline, emotional deficit, and cortical lesion. The symptoms of alcohol amnestic disorder results from malnutrition, specifically the lack of vitamin B thiamine. If symptoms are correctly diagnosed within 48 to 72 hours, treatment with thiamine is possible. However, if undiagnosed and disease progression beyond several days, the brain damage causing this condition becomes irreversible.
Biology of addiction. So psychoactive drugs differ in their biochemical properties as well as how rapidly they enter the brain. There are several routes of administration including oral, nasal and intravenous. Alcohol is usually drunk, that is basically the slowest passage. And yeah, cocaine and other drugs are self-administered nasally or by injection. We have seen that in movies. Now, central to the neurochemical processes underlying addiction is the role that the drug plays activating the pleasure pathway. The mesocorticolimbic dopamine pathway, that is MCLP, is the center of the proactive psychoactive drug activation in the brain. The MCLP is made up of neuronal cells in the middle portion of the brain known as the ventral tegmental area, as you can see in the diagram, and connects the brain to other areas such as nucleus accumbens and then to the prefrontal cortex. This neuronal system is involved in such functions as control of emotions, memory, and gratification. Hence, so many people experience heightened emotion when they drink alcohol. Alcohol produces euphoria, a great feeling, by stimulating this area in the brain. Research has shown that direct electrical stimulation of the MCLP produces great pleasure and has strong reinforcing properties, hence dependence. Now, other psychotic drugs also operate to change the brain's normal functioning and to activate the pleasure pathway. Drug ingestion or behaviors that led to activation of the brain reward system are reinforced and so further the use is promoted. Like who doesn't want another piece of cake? The exposure of the brain to an addictive drug alters its neurochemical structure and results in a member of behavioral effects with continued use of the drug. Neuroadaptation to and tolerance and dependence on the substance develops. It's not about drugs only. I mean, can you imagine me taking away your phone? Yeah, that's addiction.
Thank you. So, genes in the development of substance-related disorders. I'd like to begin by asking a question: how much role does genetics play, in your opinion, in causing substance-related disorders? Like how much percentage? Not even percentage, but any rough idea. Okay, since there are no answers, so we'll explore this later as we move, as we proceed through the video. The influence of heredity has been a widely researched topic, and many researchers they say that genetic factors they play a crucial role in substance-related disorders. For example, there was a study that was conducted by Clonin and Dick 2003 and Hogue et al. So they said that heredity plays an important role in a person's developing sensitivity to addictive powers of drugs like alcohol. So there were several studies apart from this that are conducted that support the same idea. For example, the next study that was conducted was by Water in 1979. So what was done in this study? So there were 39 studies that were already done, and those studies they were reviewed. So these studies they examined around 6,251 alcoholics and 4,083 non-alcoholics. So these people, alcoholics as well as non-alcoholics, they were followed for their entire life, almost entire life, like 40 years. And the result came out, it was a longitudinal study, and the result said that 1/3 of the alcoholics out of those 6,000 people, 6,000 families, at least one of them they had one parent, at least they had one parent who had some alcohol problem. Similarly, another study that was conducted by Clonin et al. 1986. In this study, children of alcoholics they were studied, and there was separate data that was found for males and females. So for males, the rate of alcoholism increased. So if there was one parent, the rate of alcoholism it increased from 12.4% to 29.5%. But in case if there were two, so it shot up to 41.2%. Similar statistics were found for females, that when there were no alcoholic parents, 5%, one alcoholic parent increased 9.5%, and two alcoholic parents it shot up to again 25%. So now let's take a look at adoption studies. So what are adoption studies? Adoption studies are studies in which children of alcoholics are adopted by families who are non-alcoholics. So we'll take a look at next slide, please. We'll take a look at a study that was conducted by Google et al. 1972. So what happened were two groups. So they were like biological parents who were alcoholics and biological parents who were non-alcoholics.